Are you a wallflower, or would you consider yourself a risk taker? Guys, let's be honest, a lot of us don't really know the answer to this question. So to help you realize which category you fall into, let's take a look at what really distinguishes the two extremes. Putting it simply, extroverts are the life of the party. They thrive on interactions, love the spotlight, and surround themselves with a big entourage. The more friends, followers, and connections they have, the higher their social status. And even if they stumble a few times, you might still find them being highly optimistic and jumping into things with utmost excitement. Of course, I don't mean that literally, but you get what I mean, right? On the other hand, introverts are calm thinkers. They prefer peaceful moments and take time to reflect on their mistakes. So even if they lose money in the stock market, they'll pause, analyze, and strategize before diving in again. Their superpower? Meditation on experiences and deep thinking. This allows them to rock artistic and intellectual projects with ease, from awe-inspiring movies like Schindler's List to groundbreaking theories like relativity. So next time you see someone quietly sipping coffee alone, do not underestimate them. They might just be planning their next flight to Mars. Are you a sensitive empath? Do you know what makes introverts even more extraordinary? It's the fact that they share an extra dose of sensitivity. They process information in a super thorough way, and it's their unique perception that makes them crave profound discussion about values and morals, not just shallow chit-chat. So while extroverts chat about vacations, introverts tackle climate change. And that's not it. For these people, sensitivity and empathy go hand in hand. Tragedies and cruelties hit them hard, like their skin is thinner. Plus, they've got a strict moral compass, always mindful of their impact on others. But going on a blind date or giving a job interview, now that's stressful. You could say they experience life in HD. Emotions, changes, looks, sounds, pain, everything is amplified. Oh, but don't confuse this with shyness. People who love calm places with less noise don't really fear judgment and instead value peace. Take Bill Gates, for example. He's quiet and cool, not bothered by opinions. But when you compare that to Barbra Streisand, she's outgoing, but stage fright's got her. The Great Comfort Divide. We all have our happy places, don't we? Some find pure bliss in libraries, but some thrive in the midst of crowds. So why such extreme differences? Turns out, psychologists got curious and observed infants' reactions by using alcohol-scented cotton swabs and popping balloons as two reactive stimuli. They noticed how 20% of the babies went wild, screaming, kicking, heart racing like a cheetah. But the other 40% didn't make that big of a fuss. That's where our very own almond-shaped superstar, the amygdala, steps in. When our senses pick up anything from the outside world, they rush it straight to the amygdala, the ultimate decision maker in our brain. For high reactive people, this brain switchboard is super sensitive. Every input triggers intense reactions, leading them to prefer calm spots like libraries. And as they grow, they become thoughtful introverts, pondering life's mysteries. But low reactive brains work very differently. New stuff barely phases them, needing more excitement, and they become lively extroverts seeking thrilling experiences in fun-filled places. Gentle exposure is the key. Sure, biology plays a part, but our life experiences shape us too, especially in childhood. They make a world of difference. Unlike extroverts who can adapt to any environment, even the dystopian world like we see in Mad Max, introverts need the right conditions to bloom. So how can parents nurture their introverted gems? Start by treating them with love, understanding, and acceptance, and embrace their introversion as a unique trait. Introduce them gently, step by step, to new experiences. Maybe start with close friends and gradually increase the number of people they face. Boost their self-confidence and encourage them to develop their skills constructively. Most importantly, avoid overwhelming them with excessive stimulation or dismissing their needs. Remember, with the right upbringing, introverted children can shine brightly. But under pressure or neglect, they may face challenges like depression or respiratory disorders. Who does society favor more? Don't you think it's strange how in the West, extroverts often steal the show? Their captivating presence and ability to set the tone earns them praise, and in fact, they're seen as more qualified, intelligent, and socially adept individuals. As compared to their polar opposites who are often misunderstood, depicted as quiet souls, tucked away in corners and listening attentively. Society may paint them as pale, nondescript, and even awkward. Let me tell you why. You've seen how the motivational speaker Tony Robbins in a seminar emphasized extroversion as the key to standing out in a competitive world. It's a trend observed even at famous institutions like Harvard Business School, where students are encouraged to become extroverts through active participation, collaboration, and socializing. But then when you look at Japanese and Korean universities, they paint an entirely different picture. There, average students prefer diving into books, valuing diligent study over bar hopping with friends. Oh, and you can't dare speak unless you're asked to. This points out how cultural ideas shape how we see different personalities. In Europe and America, being extroverted is valued, but in Asian cultures, they admire qualities like being quiet, humble, and focused on learning. Shifting societal values. Let me tell you a story about Dale Carnegie, a super introverted person who grew up in a small Missouri town. He was skinny, nervous, and far from being a charismatic speaker. But inspiration struck when he encountered a talented speaker from the adult education movement. And so, driven by ambition, Carnegie worked tirelessly to improve his skills. Gradually, he transformed into a masterful speaker. Then, as a traveling salesman, he also charmed customers across America with his smile and firm handshake. Later on, building on his success, he founded the Dale Carnegie Institute, dedicated to helping businessmen overcome insecurities. This transformation of his beautifully reflects the broader societal shift from rural to urban values in 20th century America. Because up until the 19th century, it was your character that spoke for itself. There was no need for a self-promotion. But then the 20th century came along and people rushed to bustling cities. Suddenly, social structures crumbled like cookies, which led to the motto, if you want to win over others, you have to know how to sell yourself. The Americans shifted gear, demanding boldness, friendliness, charm, and intelligence all rolled into one. Fast forward to this day, and people are now seen brimming with energy, captivating us with their irresistible charisma. Flipping the switch. Sometimes ambitious introverts face situations where being extroverted is a must, like a shy college professor who wants to inspire her students. But guess what? Even with an introverted nature, she can switch to extrovert mode. By reflecting on herself and others, she learns to adapt her manner and turn on the extroversion switch at the right moment. During lectures, she displays extroverted behavior, confident strides, clear and precise speaking, and a relaxed posture. This captivates her students who even ask for recommendation letters. Teaching becomes easier too. After her important mission of giving an engaging lecture, she goes back to her introverted self, enjoying the peace and quiet in the library. No social interactions needed. To be honest, it's not as easy as it sounds, but many figure it out when they want to achieve something important. They can act extroverted for a short time. Open office madness. Many employers believe open offices and group work bring out the best in their staff. But for introverts, it's like a sensory storm. Constant interruptions, loud chatter, even hostile vibes from coworkers. All that stimuli can lead to major stress. So do you really think they can reach their full potential in such an environment? Let's look at a few examples. Steve Wozniak built Apple's first computer at home. Newton formulated gravity's law alone, and J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter in solitude. That should be enough to tell you that introverts shouldn't be overlooked. In Steve Wozniak's story, he said great inventors are like artists who shine solo. So if you've got a gem like that in your company, don't force them into teams. Let them take on revolutionary projects alone. So to create a balanced environment, make your workspace more flexible. Provide opportunities for idea exchange, but also allow for privacy and solitude. In fact, you could even use retractable walls as a solution for privacy. Unlocking the power. To uncover the best use of these two types, scientists conducted a t-shirt folding task. They assigned extrovert and introverted leaders to different teams. The extrovert nailed the rulebook and boosted performance, but they struggled with taking in new ideas from team members. But the introverted, with their calm and quiet demeanor, embraced their team's ideas and turned them into action. In fact, during the 2008 financial crisis, we saw how extroverted leaders went wild with quick decisions based on little info. Risky investments, they took the plunge. But when the bubble burst, they paid the price for their recklessness. On the other hand, introverted leaders took their time, gathering loads of information before making a move. And of course, their companies survived the crisis better. So when you need fast decisions, go with the extroverted leaders. But when it's time for careful consideration, trust the introverts to lead the way. Clash of Titans. The two extremes often clash, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. But when they open up and understand each other, greatness happens. A classic example is Franklin D. Roosevelt and his introverted wife, Eleanor. Eleanor's social conscience complemented Franklin's political clout, leading to meaningful changes like Marian Anderson's performance at the Lincoln Memorial. But it's not just the big things. Even in everyday life, open-minded extroverts can also enjoy deep conversations, while introverts appreciate the liveliness extroverts bring. Alrighty then, now that you can easily distinguish between the two extremes, go on and share this wisdom with the world. Let's spread the word and create a place where everyone can team up and make pure magic happen. Thanks for watching.